Chapter 1. Managing Your Time to Live a Purposeful and Abundant Life. In the modern world, we are constantly rushing to keep up with the demands of both our professional and personal lives. The typical work week has grown from the traditional 40 hours to 60 to 70 hours, and for some, it has even surpassed 90 to 120 hours per week. This means we are often left with little time for ourselves and our families, and even simple activities such as self-care, reading, and engaging in religious practices. It's a struggle to find time to vote or spend quality time with loved ones, who are the cornerstone of our support system. In the pursuit of success and advancement in our careers, we often forget the importance of taking care of ourselves and our relationships. We may boast about the long hours we put in at work, but what good is success if we don't have the time to enjoy it with our loved ones? Moreover, neglecting self-care can lead to burnout, which can impact our health, relationships, and overall happiness. However, there are people like Teresa Daytner who have found a way to live a fulfilling life despite the demands of work and family. As the owner of Dayton Construction Group and the mother of 6, including 8-year-old twins, Teresa is busier than most of us. Yet she manages to prioritize self-care and spend time with her family, all while running a successful business. She sleeps 7 hours a night, coaches soccer, and spends weekends cheering at her children's games. She also makes time for outdoor activities such as hiking and horseback riding to recharge and find peace. Additionally, she takes days off work to coincide with her kids' days off school so they can go on sightseeing tours. Teresa views her time differently from most people and believes that every hour and minute is precious. She spends her time on what she does best and what no one else can do better, nurturing her business, family, and herself. According to her, if I'm not spending time wisely, I fix it, even if it's just quiet time. Teresa's story serves as a reminder that our busy lives are largely a choice. We all have the same amount of time, 168 hours every week, to create the lives we want. By choosing how we spend our time, we can lead more purposeful and abundant lives, both professionally and personally. It's important to note that our 168 hours each week can be used to pursue our passions, engage in activities that bring us joy, and spend quality time with those we love. We have the power to create the life we want, and we should not let our busy schedules hold us back. By prioritizing what's important to us, we can make the most of the time we have and live a life that's both fulfilling and abundant. Chapter 2. Achieving Professional and Personal Fulfillment Through Core Competencies. The fast-paced and demanding nature of today's world can make it seem like there are not enough hours in the day to balance our professional and personal lives. As a result, many of us boast about working 60 to 70-hour work weeks, with some even working up to 90 to 120-hour work weeks. This often leads to a lack of time for self-care, reading, religious practices, spending quality time with loved ones, and even basic actions like voting. However, it's possible to lead a fulfilling life both professionally and personally by focusing on our core competencies. These are the skills and abilities that we excel at, and we do better than almost anyone else. By focusing on these core competencies, we can make the most out of the 168 hours we have in a week to build the lives we desire. Troy Smith and Jan Rivkin from the Harvard Business School have likened life to a job, made up of tasks and activities that we take on. Some of these tasks, like sleeping and eating, are necessities, while the rest are a combination of choices that we make. The authors stress that we have the ability to change how these tasks are bundled together in the future based on our core competencies. To live a whole life, it's essential to leverage our core competencies. They are rooted in our clarity of the strategic intent and prioritize our limited time resources on the things that we do best and delegate or ignore the rest. By doing this, we become more focused and efficient, allowing us to achieve greatness in our lives. However, it's crucial that our core competencies are meaningful and important to us. They should be the things that we are best at and that others cannot do as well. Ideally, we should have no more than a handful of core competencies, and these should fit into specific categories. For example, if you have found your dream job, your work should be a core competence. Nurturing relationships with family and close friends, as well as leisure activities that align with your core competencies, should also be considered core competencies. The individuals who get the most out of life are those who identify and focus on their core competencies. They understand that happy and successful people are not just getting by, but rather spend as much of their 168 hours as possible on their core competencies. By doing this, they sharpen their focus and set themselves on a path to success and happiness. Chapter 3. Achieving professional fulfillment through matching core competencies with the right job. Determining the perfect career path that aligns with our core competencies is a crucial step toward leading a fulfilling life, both professionally and personally. When we are in a job that leverages our strengths, we are able to allocate our time and energy toward what we excel at, leading to a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. But how do we determine the right job for us? Sylvia Earle, a renowned marine biologist and National Geographic explorer in residence, provides a great example of what a fulfilling career looks like. Despite facing several challenges through her 60 years in the field, including grueling travel conditions, sexism, and balancing work and family, she remains deeply passionate about her work. This showcases the significance of finding a career that aligns with our core competencies and pushes us to reach the limits of our abilities. Teresa Amabile, a Harvard Business School professor, emphasizes that the perfect job for us is one where we do what we love and love what we do. Doing what we love involves finding work that matches our expertise, creative thinking skills, and intrinsic motivations. Loving what we do means finding job conditions and work environments that support our focus and encourage the exploration of new ideas. The right job should bring positive energy into our lives, becoming a source of joy and motivation in our 168 hours each week. When we love what we do, even a 50-hour work week feels less taxing than a 30-hour work week in a job we loathe. The perfect career path is a combination of finding work that matches our core competencies and the right job conditions that challenge us to reach the extent of our abilities and support our growth. It is important to remember that the journey toward finding the right job is not always a straightforward one. It may require exploration, experimentation, and patience. However, when we finally find work that aligns with our core competencies, it will be well worth the effort. Chapter 4. The key to finding a fulfilling professional life lies in managing your calendar. Carol Fassbinder-Orth, a renowned biologist, has a unique approach to her workday. Instead of being afraid to speak up in meetings, she has the confidence to excuse herself if she realizes that a meeting isn't relevant to her, and instead chooses to use her valuable time pursuing activities that contribute to her career progress. Fassbinder-Orth is a prime example of someone who has learned to control her work calendar, maximize her time, and achieve her career goals. She obtained her PhD in avian immunology in just 5 years, even while balancing the demands of motherhood and work, by learning how to structure her schedule to optimize her progress. If you want to follow her footsteps, it's important to first identify your career goals and then prioritize your activities accordingly. With an average of 2,000 working hours in a year, you have the potential to make significant progress toward your dreams. Start by setting annual goals and breaking them down into monthly milestones. Then plan your weekly tasks, schedule them into your calendar, and stick to your commitment to completing them. It's also important to eliminate activities that are outside your core competencies and to minimize the time you spend on tasks that you're not good at. Meetings, for instance, can consume a significant amount of time, but there are ways to optimize them, such as replacing multi-person meetings with one-on-ones between relevant employees. Don't be afraid to delegate tasks to others who are better suited to completing them, freeing up your time to focus on what really matters. Time is a precious commodity, and by following Carol Fassbinder-Orth's example, you can learn to control your work calendar and make the most of your time, achieving your career goals and leading a more fulfilling life. Chapter 5. Climbing to the peak of our careers. Achieving success in our careers should be the ultimate goal of all our hard work, and there are several steps we can take to reach this summit. In this chapter, we will explore the 6 key strategies that can help us break through in our chosen profession or craft. First, having a clear vision of what we want to achieve in our careers is an essential step toward success. This clarity helps us to set our sights high and motivates us to work hard toward reaching our goals. Having a clear idea of what the next level in our career looks like gives us a target to work toward and helps us to stay focused and motivated. Additionally, it also helps us to take calculated risks and make bold moves that will bring us closer to our ultimate career goal. With a clear vision in mind, we can make informed decisions about the steps we need to take to achieve our aspirations and continuously progress toward success. Second, we must understand the metrics and gatekeepers that are important in reaching the next stage of our careers. These metrics can vary depending on the profession, but they often include factors such as publications, grants, and years of experience. In some cases, the metrics may not be readily available, but it is our responsibility to research and discover them. Gatekeepers are experienced colleagues who have the power to help us advance in our careers. They are often drawn to individuals who share similar professional and personal outlooks and can be valuable resources in reaching our goals. To form relationships with these gatekeepers, we must first understand what they value and look for in their professional relationships. This will help us showcase our strengths and present ourselves as valuable assets to decision makers in our organizations. Third, we must be willing to put in the necessary hard work and long hours to achieve our goals. This often requires pushing beyond our comfort zones and working until we reach the point of diminishing returns. Fourth, we must remain open to new possibilities and be proactive in seeking out new opportunities. While luck can play a role in our success, it is important to stack the odds in our favor by actively seeking out opportunities and not leaving anything to chance. Fifth, we must develop a strong personal brand and narrative. Our personal stories are what set us apart from others and can help us stand out in our organizations. By creating a compelling narrative that showcases our passions and motivations, we can increase our visibility and credibility, leading to greater opportunities for growth in our careers. Finally, once we have achieved our breakthrough, we must be ready to ride the wave and continue our momentum. This means continually striving for growth and development, and using the framework and strategies that brought us success in the first place. As an example, consider the story of Leanne Shear and Tracy Toomey, the authors of The Perfect Manhattan. Despite working long hours as bartenders in Manhattan, they found the time and motivation to write their book and eventually caught the attention of a literary agent through a chance encounter. Their determination and hard work allowed them to capitalize on this opportunity and launch their careers as authors. Chapter 6. Investing quality time into relationships with your children and your spouse by focusing on key areas. The modern world has brought about many changes and advancements, and this extends to the way we approach household chores and child rearing. In the 1950s and 1960s, tasks such as ironing electric blankets and vacuuming ceilings were a regular part of the average woman's to-do list. During this time, it was not uncommon for American mothers to spend over 30 hours a week cleaning. Fortunately, this figure has significantly reduced over the years, and today most mothers spend closer to 16 hours a week on cleaning. The busy and fast-paced nature of today's society, with many mothers now in paid work, has made it more challenging to devote as much time and effort to cleaning and child rearing as in the past. The amount of time that parents now spend with their children is also much less than it was in the 1950s and 60s. Full-time stay-at-home moms in the U.S., for instance, spend around 22.5 hours a week caring for children under the age of 6, which is equivalent to just over 3 hours a day. As such, it is vital to make the most of the limited time we have with our children. The key to improving our relationships with them is to focus on our core competencies and remember that nurturing our children is one of these competencies. In today's world, many parents feel the pressure to go above and beyond, but it is important to remember that these activities may not necessarily foster a stronger relationship with our children. To make the most of our time with our children, we can seek out shared passions and interests. This can involve asking them to write a list of their 100 dreams or scheduling a regular trip to a local pool or park if we both love swimming or being outdoors. As we engage in activities that we both enjoy, we are more likely to see a deeper connection form. Additionally, it is essential to consciously make plans to take us away from the TV, as this kind of passive entertainment will not foster a strong bond or bring a sense of fulfillment. It is essential to remember the value of our time with our children and make the most of it. By focusing on our core competencies, seeking out shared passions and interests, and consciously making plans that take us away from distractions, we can improve our relationships with our children and create memories that will last a lifetime. Chapter 7. Outsource household tasks that are not within your core competencies. Sid Savara, a skilled software developer, was facing a common dilemma, balancing his love for cooking and playing the guitar with his daily responsibilities. With a busy schedule, he was struggling to find the time to plan and prepare healthy meals, and often resorted to unhealthy takeout options. He realized that this was not only affecting his health but also impacting his passion for music. With a desire to find a solution, Sid took to the internet and posted an ad on Craigslist, searching for a personal chef who could help him with his meal planning and preparation. To his delight, a mother who had recently quit her day job responded to the ad, and they agreed that she would make 12 to 15 basic meals for him each week for a fee of $60, plus the cost of groceries. The arrangement proved to be a win-win for both parties. Sid's credit card bill decreased as his chef was able to shop economically and avoid impulse buys. More importantly, Sid was able to reclaim almost 10 hours per week, which he could now use to play the guitar and pursue his passion. Sid's experience highlights the importance of outsourcing tasks that are not aligned with our core competencies, and how this can lead to a more fulfilling and balanced life. By embracing this concept, we can create more time for the things we love and focus on the things that matter the most. It's unlikely that doing tasks around the house would count as one of your core competencies, even if you're a full-time parent. His chef spent only 4 hours per week doing what took Savara 10. Savara was clearly better off hiring a chef to prepare his meals. Similarly to this, you can be depriving yourself of the chance to foster family ties if you choose domestic duties over quality time with your children. Always check your budget to see if there is money available for these services. Look back at your time log and determine which domestic duties are consuming your week to gain time back through outsourcing. The main ones are typically those who prepare food and clean the house. The average full-time parent spends 9 hours a week feeding the family as a whole. Chapter 8. The Importance of Deliberate Leisure for a Purposeful Life. Are you tired of feeling unfulfilled and drained at the end of your weekends? Do you find yourself using your leisure time to catch up on household chores and mindlessly watch TV, only to regret it come Sunday night? It's time to rethink how you approach your leisure time and incorporate the concept of purposeful leisure into your life. Purposeful leisure is not a familiar concept for many of us. We tend to approach our work hours with intention and focus, but we forget to do the same with our leisure hours. However, by being intentional in how we choose to spend our leisure time, we can transform it into a meaningful and enriching part of our lives. Here are 5 steps to help you structure your leisure time in a purposeful way. Step 1. Determine the purposeful leisure activities you wish to engage in. Think about what brings you joy and fulfillment. Is it spending time in nature, reading, learning a new skill, or volunteering for a cause you're passionate about? Make a list of these activities. Step 2. Develop a schedule that incorporates these activities. Just like your plan for a work schedule, plan your leisure time. This will help you make time for the activities that matter to you and ensure that you don't waste your precious leisure hours. Step 3. Invest enough time, energy, and resources to make your leisure pursuits truly meaningful. Whether it's taking a class or traveling to a new place, invest in your leisure pursuits to get the most out of them. This will help you derive more satisfaction and fulfillment from your leisure time. Step 4. Consider aligning your leisure time with family and friends to strengthen those relationships. Spending time with loved ones can be a great source of joy and fulfillment. Think about how you can incorporate purposeful leisure activities into your time with family and friends. Step 5. Use small pockets of time, such as your daily commute, for moments of joy. Whether it's listening to a podcast, reading a book, or revisiting memories from a past vacation, use small pockets of time to inject moments of joy and fulfillment into your day. By incorporating these steps into your life, you can ensure that your leisure hours are not wasted, but rather a valuable and fulfilling addition to your overall sense of purpose. Remember, time is a precious commodity and should be used wisely both in work and leisure. Purposeful leisure is the key to a life filled with meaning and fulfillment. So go ahead, plan your leisure time with intention and enjoy the benefits of a purposeful life. Chapter 9. Living a life of purpose and fullness every 168 hours. The pursuit of a life that is both full and purposeful can be a challenging journey, but it is not impossible. In fact, the secret to unlocking a life of abundance lies in making the most out of your 168 hours every week consistently. To achieve this, you need to undergo a comprehensive time makeover. This means analyzing the data from tracking your use of time for several weeks, identifying what needs to change, and removing any obstacles that stand in your way. Here are 8 simple steps to guide you in this journey. Step 1. Keep a log of your use of time. 168 hours for several weeks. You can use the purpose-built spreadsheet available on my168hours.com to track your activities, including sleep, work, interaction with your children, and others. Step 2. Write down your list of 100 dreams. This is essentially your bucket list, which comprises things you want to accomplish before the end of your life. This exercise will help you prioritize what truly matters to you and how to fit them into your schedule. Step 3. Identify your core competencies. These are your unique skills and abilities that define you and your purpose in life. Decide how many of your 168 hours you want to dedicate to your core competencies and non-core competencies. Step 4. Start fresh. You have 168 hours to fill. Begin by filling in the time for sleep and meals. Step 5. Block out hours for core competency activities. These are activities that align with your core competencies and are essential to your purpose and fulfillment. Step 6. Minimize, outsource, or ignore everything else. Your time is limited, so focus on living your core competencies. Step 7. Fill in bits of time with bits of joy, as discussed in the previous chapter. Step 8. Continuously review and adjust your schedule. Your 168 hours will change as your priorities and dreams evolve. In conclusion, living a full and purposeful life is not an unattainable goal. By tracking your use of time, prioritizing your dreams, and focusing on your core competencies, you can make the most of every moment and experience a life of abundance. The ultimate goal of this book is to emphasize the importance of making the most out of every 168 hours in a week in order to lead a fulfilling and purposeful life. The author stresses the importance of being intentional in how we choose to spend our time, focusing on our core competencies, both professionally and personally, in order to make the most impact. To put the ideas presented in this book into practice, the author suggests taking a few simple steps. First, log your time usage for 4 weeks using the 168 hours log available on the author's website, and analyze the data to determine where you are spending the majority of your time. Ask yourself what changes you need to make and whether you are in the right job, given your core competencies and values. Additionally, consider how the concept of new home economics plays out in your own life and consider discussing it with your spouse. By taking these steps and being intentional with your time, you can lead a purposeful life and make the most out of every 168 hours.